It began with a spark, not a discovery, a declaration that the dark no longer belonged to nature. In the winter of 1879, inside a small workshop in Menlo Park, Thomas Edison held up a glass bulb that glowed like captured fire. The world gasped. Newspapers called him the Wizard of Menlo Park. Crowds gathered outside his lab, watching the future shimmer through the windows. For a brief moment, it seemed light itself had chosen a master. But this was not the story of light's invention. This was the story of its war. Edison was already a legend. Telegraphs, phonographs, motion pictures. He had turned ideas into industries. He was not a scientist in the ivory tower sense. He was an empire in human form, fueled by caffeine, stubbornness, and the smell of burning copper. Every day, he worked 19 hours. Every failure was just proof he was closer to success. But beneath his genius lived something colder: ownership. Edison didn't just want to create, he wanted to control. In the beginning, his dream was simple: to bring electric light into every home, to replace candles and gas lamps with his own design. But to do that, he needed not just invention, he needed infrastructure: power plants, wiring, distribution. The world wasn't ready, but Edison was. He built the first electric grid in Lower Manhattan, running on direct current, DC. It was beautiful, efficient, and limited. Direct current could only travel a short distance before losing strength. It worked for cities? No. For a while, that didn't matter. He had fame, patents, and the trust of the American public. People believed in him the way they believed in progress itself. Until one day, a tall, quiet man walked into his lab, a man who believed in a different kind of light. Nikola Tesla, a Serbian immigrant with a mind like lightning and a heart full of ideals. Where Edison saw money, Tesla saw energy as art: infinite, elegant, untamed. He spoke softly, but his ideas roared. Alternating current, he said, AC, could travel miles, could power entire cities, could change the world. Edison dismissed him instantly. Alternating current, he said, is a fool's scheme. But Tesla wouldn't bend. He worked nights, building prototypes, chasing the perfect current. When Edison refused to pay him for his work, Tesla walked out, broke, but burning with vision. He swore he would prove Edison wrong, even if it killed him. And so, the war began. In 1888, George Westinghouse, another industrial titan, discovered Tesla's designs and bought his patents. Together, they became Edison's greatest threat. Westinghouse built systems using Tesla's alternating current, promising cheaper, safer, more powerful electricity. Edison's empire trembled, but Edison didn't retreat. He went to war in the only way he knew how: through fear. He began a campaign to destroy Tesla's reputation. He told the public that AC was deadly, that it could kill without warning. He arranged gruesome demonstrations, electrocuting dogs, horses, even an elephant, to show how dangerous Tesla's current was. Newspapers printed his words in bold: AC will slaughter your children. It was propaganda with voltage. The war of currents had begun. The nation split. On one side, Edison, the American hero, the face of invention. On the other, Tesla, the foreign idealist, backed by Westinghouse's fortune. It wasn't just a technological rivalry, it was cultural. Edison represented control, safety, ownership. Tesla represented freedom, innovation, chaos. In 1893, the battle reached its climax: the contract to power the Chicago World's Fair. 1,000,000 lights, the symbol of the century. Edison's General Electric bid with DC Westinghouse. Bid with Tesla's AC, cheaper, stronger, unstoppable. Westinghouse won. When the fair opened, it was like daylight had descended to Earth. The crowd gasped as a night sky turned white with electric fire. For the first time, humans stood inside the future. And Edison's empire began to fade. Tesla became a celebrity. Newspapers called him the man who defeated the wizard. But fame was not fortune. He cared little for patents, less for profit. He gave up royalties that would have made him one of the richest men alive, believing knowledge should be free. Westinghouse admired him, but business is not built on admiration. Slowly, the money ran out. Edison moved on, to motion pictures, to telegraphs, to anything that could keep his legend alive. But the war had changed him. He had seen his own limits. His hatred of Tesla became obsession. He refused to utter his name. To Edison, the victory of alternating current was a betrayal of order. To Tesla, it was liberation. But the dream of light came with a shadow. The more power humanity controlled, the more it hungered for control itself. Tesla built towers to transmit electricity through the air. The Wardenclyffe Project, a system to give energy to the world without wires, without charge. Investors fled. No one wanted a future they couldn't own. The tower was torn down for scrap. Tesla vanished into debt and obscurity, feeding pigeons in New York parks, whispering to himself about invisible energy. Edison died wealthy. Tesla died alone. Years later, history turned them into archetypes: the capitalist and the visionary, the tyrant and the dreamer. But the truth was more complicated. Edison's darkness built the infrastructure we still depend on. Tesla's light inspired every dreamer who came after. Their war never ended. It just changed form. Every startup, every breakthrough, every battle for intellectual property is just another echo of their conflict. The fight between control and creation, between the man who sells light and the man who becomes it. In the end, the current found balance. Alternating current won the war, but Edison's methods shaped the world's business, its patents, its politics. Power, both electrical and human, was no longer about invention, it was about control. They said Edison electrified the world, but maybe Tesla set it free. The war for light was not fought in trenches. It was fought in workshops and headlines, in egos and experiments. It was fought by men who thought they were changing the world and did, just not the way they intended. Because they weren't fighting for electricity. They were fighting for immortality. And they didn't fight for light, they fought to own the sun.